And we're live. Welcome back, everybody. Deep Catcher Radio back again. How's everybody doing? Another exciting day. We are on day second, third, fourth. So in about 5 hours from now, the third complete day of the reload phase for the 1 year base stake pool is active. So you can currently mint one base with 1.12 hex, or backwards. You can mint, actually, yeah. So you can mint one base with 1.12 hex on either chain, and you can, if you already have base, you can redeem one base for 1.12 hex. Staking in the base stake pool, it consolidates the stake into a single transaction, which lets users experience what comes out to 99.9% gas fee savings per user. But for all the users, since only one person actually ran it, all the users of base didn't pay anything for end staking. And so, huge scaling solution for Hex, staking through these pools. And there's currently a year-long stake available to join right now. In the first year, it earned about 12% on both chains. Started with 100 million, grew to 112 million. But something that we've been seeing over the last year, is the restake rate has been going down pretty substantially. And we're actually seeing evidence of that through the base stake pool, where over the first couple days of the end stake, a lot of people were redeeming, and so that same low stake rate has kind of trickled into these pools, and I think that's really just a seasonal thing. When there's low demand for Hex, there's low demand for staking Hex, and so I think that as the base stake just cycles through, every year it's going to be different. So some years I think are going to be high performing years in terms of participation, and others are going to be lower performing. But it doesn't really matter. Like with these stake pools, it doesn't necessarily matter how much Hex actually goes into them, because while there is bigger pays better, bigger pays better is not a very big difference. It's kind of within the margin for error that the payout would be based on just fluctuations in the daily payout per key share, and it's and especially for longer stakes. For shorter stakes, it has more of an impact, but it's, all things considered, it's not a huge bonus. But even just getting a couple dozen people in a stake pool, that drastically reduces the end stake gas cost per user, which in bear markets isn't so bad, and on shorter stakes isn't so bad, but for longer stakes ending during a time where there's a lot of activity on chain that's driving the gas up, it definitely makes a big difference. But so there's currently about 1,000 base holders. So on a per person basis, the cost for executing the stake in this way is minimal, infinitely small, and there's no ongoing cost. If you're just simply holding your base tokens, you don't have to pay to restake or end each stake. So that was kind of the whole design of these perpetual stake pools, is that you could join once and then not pay any gas, and you're still just rotating the stake. If it's a liquid, you can choose to, if you want to sell it anytime, or you can wait for redemption period. Hex. So a lot of flexibility is kind of baked into these, and with an upcoming launch, we're actually going to be rolling out a whole new suite of these Hex stake pools. So Right now, there's about 5 options across the board, from 1 year with base, 3 years with trio, 7 years with lucky, and 10 years with desi, and then 15 years with maxi. And each of those are about a year old, because at least base, trio, lucky, desi all started a year ago, and then maxi started about a year and a half ago. So when those are at discounts, in which you can actually track, there's a website, lookintomaxi.com. Why don't I share my let me share my screen here. And you know what? We're going to tweet out. We're just going to tweet something real quick. We're going to say, doing a walkthrough of lookintomaxi.com to understand the benefits of buying, understand how to get ultra discounted t-shirts. Okay, so Looking to Maxi is a website that someone in the community made. So shout out to them. They're awesome. Hexgeta is their name. And this just shows all of the, it tracks a bunch of different pieces of data related to the hex stake pools. So it shows the price, it shows the effective t-share, and then how many of each of these you would need to get one t-share. And so you see things that are in a discount. You can see that you only need 7,800 desi tokens to get one t-share worth of desi. Whereas things that are more, like base right now tracks it's redeemable and mintable at the same rate. So you need more base to get a t-share because there's not a discount going. So the discounts make a big difference. And, because with desi, it's a longer stake, it has a lot more t-shares. And so on a per token basis, right now you can get the most t-shirts are still with maxi, I guess, in that case. But that's also has to do with because maxi started earlier. So it shows the discounts and the premiums. What I really like about the site is that it has the discount and premium relative to the mint price, the original mint, the 1-to-1, and then to the discount or premium relative to the current backing, meaning the hex principal plus the earnings to date. So I think those are two important numbers to look at, because one of them is and this is probably the one that I think of the most, is of the people who participated in that original mint, what's their all-time performance. And so I like measuring against this, the discount premium to the mint ratio, because also I think it also does some discounting of future earnings baked right in. So I like looking at it relative to the mint, but it's still relevant to look at it versus the stake backing. It shows APY. And something that I was talking to yesterday on the stream, Matty Allen, let me pull this up. So there's the APY, but then if you're buying at a discount and you treat buying at a discount, let me just show you effective APY. I just made this tool just to kind of help me. I was trying to put into words what I was trying to describe, but so I made this thing where it measures the t-share rate and the price. So if you're buying desi at 0.84 hex per desi with 9 years remaining in the stake, the equivalent APY you get is 42.54%. So that's up from if you just look at the normal measured APY on desi, for instance, it's 30%. But if you were to buy DESI like right now at the current price, your effective APY is 42.54%. And that's because you're getting more principal. Like say you're buying with Hex, you're getting more Hex than what you're putting in. Plus you're earning yield over 9 years. So it's equivalent to like a 9-year stake, but you're earning 10 years worth of yield. And you're earning at a t-shirt rate that was locked in the year before, and your and the like with versus compared to just staking for 9 years, you get 180%. But with the 10-year one, you get the full 200% bonus. So like buying the stake pool tokens at a discount, it in effect is like buying or like staking Hex and getting a yield amplifier. So that's what I really like about this side, is that it just kind of helps you kind of make sense about all the stuff going on with the perpetuals. And so let's see so these charts are really nice too. All right, let's see these charts. Okay, here we go. So this shows the maxi chart compared to its what they call the fair value. That's the principal plus the earned yield. So I think this is a really awesome chart because it shows kind of like the initial takeoff, and then team launched like right around here, and then because that was absorbing a lot of the supply, and then it kind of restored, and then it went under to a discount, and then now it's crept back up to a premium. So that's on Emaxi. I like looking at the Emaxi ones because they show the whole history as opposed to the PLS ones. It like only shows to here. But I guess you can just imagine what you saw, like all this up to like this point is the same. But so and so those charts are on ETH. Another thing that I think is interesting is that just kind of the difference on the ETH side versus the Pulse side. So like base, I mean, it really hung around the earnings value. Like it didn't really stray too far away from there. Trio's kind of done the same thing, but more on the downside. It's like base, it seemed to kind of creep its way higher longer, but in this case, it's kind of just bouncing along up there with it. And then Lucky had a more sustained discount. And there was a point in time where there's even like very low liquidity, like to even measure, but it had a full discount cycle, and then now it's above now there's a slight premium. DESI, looks like this discount level has kind of bottomed out at around say 0.7. Now it's at 0.84, and so maybe what we see is something like this, with kind of here on the maxi, the discount kind of bottomed out and then restored. So who knows, we may see our first DESI premium. And I think some people have talked about how these pool tokens can perhaps be treated like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust discount, where like during a bull market, it's at a premium, and at a bear market, it's in a discount, and then the bull market kicks off when the discounts go away. And so maybe that's what we're kind of seeing here, is that like the maxi discount's gone away. The DESI one still's there. Lucky still is a premium. Trio premium, and eBase now reset to the mid rate. So, and then here, but on the other hand, on Pulse Chain with Maxi, it's slightly below. On um, on Pulse Chain, the discount is higher with 70 at 0.7, and then with P Lucky, it's still in a discount. Trio is just below its net asset value, and then Base, obviously is at its par value because of the reload phase. But I think as these, like right now, like if there's low demand for hex, there's low demand for pre-staked hex. But I think as like during a bear market, that's the case. But I think during a bull market, probably what makes sense is that there will be demand for hex in any format, and maybe they're like during bull markets, people start getting rosy-eyed about the future value of the stakes, and then we may see sizable premiums during bull cycles. But with the premiums on these, because they do come due, like there is a redemption phase. It is like I typically view it a good thing. Like if the premium gets too high, it's actually a really healthy thing for people who own these tokens to sell into it, because like if you're way overpaying for any of these coins, you're just getting a bad deal. So I do think that the role of sellers is important in making sure that the premiums don't go too crazy, because like if you're buying at a really high premium, then what that means is that you're getting less T shares per hex, and you're getting it's like you're getting 5 years, or it's like you're getting 2 years of yield in 5 years. So I think they're like for the users that buy into these later, not buying it too high, I think better for them. And if there are premiums, I think that's opportunity for people to be able to lock in, say, 5 years of yield in 3 years, right? So that's like an elevated APY that you experienced. And so I think that I'm hoping to see the market dynamic of the pool tokens, kind of solidify in that way, where like just more, because right in the first year, at least for base, pretty low trading volume and trading activity. Most people were just buying and holding base, or they minted and held base, and something like 20% of the base was diamond handed. And so most users were just using it as an alternative to staking. But I think that as time goes on, there perhaps is going to be more active market making, and we already saw it on the Pulse Chain side with on PHUX. They have the liquidity pools that hold like a set ratio of all these tokens. So I think we'll keep seeing that evolve. X says, I rather restake. So hopefully by next year around this time, market will be way better. Yeah, I think so too. What about diamond hands? Is it necessary to unstake claim it to be able to restake for the second year? Yeah, you have to. You don't have to do anything with claiming, but to go to stake for the second year. But you do have to go and either unstake and then stake again, or click the restake function. So one of those two. Fuck yeah! Shout out Hexgeta. That's right. Yeah, Desi's the hookup right now. Yeah, 420 Pulse Doge is, I think, the number one Desi maximalist. I just glanced at the mint countdown timer. First time I was right at 5 days, 5 hours, 5 minutes, 5 seconds. That's cool. Crypto Games Club, what up? What up, Too Spooky? Funny story. Yesterday I was on Matty Allen's stream, and we were talking about my 1 million to 1 billion PLS trading challenge. And I was saying how I bought some, I think like 3 million pulse worth of HOA purely because I have basically been raised on citrus and it's such a core part of my diet and livelihood, and that I have like a real passion for good citrus. And then my fucking dyslexic LARPing ass said Grove Gang instead of Tang Gang, and I literally can't stop thinking about it. I was trying to give a shout out and I just looked like a LARP. Dyslexic LARP. Don't forget to set up on all the other chains. You just never know. Yeah, so it is live on all the other chains. I vouch for 420 Pulse Doge, definitely the biggest maxi. I flex with it. Do the rewards get wrapped into the next stake, or should I unstake and then restake to receive better rewards? So your rewards won't, if you don't claim them, they won't get wrapped in. And if you click the restake button, let me see. Let's confirm in the code. Let's look this up. So let's find this. Well, let's just look at the diamond hand contract. So we're going to come here. Wow, 24 million deci is in here. Okay, so there's extend stake and then there's restake, expired stake. Okay, so there's a little nuance with this. If you want your rewards to be included in the stake, the base. So if you diamond handed first period, you got came out to 0.5% extra base. If you want that extra base to be included in there, you should end your stake. So don't click the restake button. Click the, do this on the DApp. Don't do it on, you can do it on Etherscan, but you would run just the normal end stake function for the entire amount. And then you would restake, meaning just run the normal, it's called the join club function. So that's the nuance there. So if you want those rewards to be included, you should end and then restake. Grow gamers for me. We have something similar to Team Dashboard Anvil app to track how much base is staked before the 10th of October. Yeah, let me see. So here's the work in progress on insurance on screen right now. So I'm kind of just compiling the information at this point. I'm still working on this, but you heard about them supposedly finding the Atropa dev. It's kind of funny, is it? With pretty high certainty, I thought I knew who it was. And I straight up told them that I thought it was them. And they kind of laughed it off. But their answer wasn't certain. But so I guess we will see if it really comes out who it is. I have my suspicion. I'm not going to say who it is, who I think it is. But they know that I think it's them. So if it really does come out, we shall see if I was right or if I was wrong. And my friend was just messing with me. So here's um, the dashboard here. So it looks like it on at least on Ethereum, the white line is the E base, pink line is P base. We had some like first big wave of redemption kind of just in the first day, and then a single user withdrew 9 million on both sides. So this was like a single user here, and but that was kind of the bottoming out of it on eBase at 73.2 million hex, and now it's back up to 74.2 million hex. So I mean, again, people can always, like at any time someone could redeem a bunch, but it appears to be kind of stabilizing where most of the redeemers have kind of already redeemed. And with 20 million hex still in the diamond hand contract, that's some measure of how much may be intending to keep the gravy train rolling here. So it's basically like with 5 days left in the mint phase, we're at 74 million hex. And I think that, let's look back. So what was that website? team-dashboard.anvil.app. Team. Do you remember what the URL is for that link? Actually, here I can look at it here. I'm trying to find that dashboard, team dashboard. Maybe this is it. Okay, yeah. So I was trying to look for my old chart, which isn't appearing. I don't think they dove deep enough, but do us a favor and let us know what Atropa has to do with Ave and why Maria is so important. I did look at the GitHub. Let's look at it. right, you guys. Let's tweet this out. I'm gonna analyzing the Atropa GitHub. All right, let's let people load in. If you're in the chat right here, let me know. Share the link. We'll be going through this here in just a second. I mean, first, let's search what Busy Toby means. Looks like Busy Toby is a recording artist. I wonder what Busy Toby is. See if they have any good music.
Here again. As soon as the sun hits your face, we'll walk around our own neighborhood. As now it's past midnight, and tomorrow we'll put the ladder down again. Close up your eyes, little bee. It's so quiet and our books go heavy again. Maya and Leaves would agree that you need your gardening sleep. 'Cause right now I'm waiting for you to close those purple eyelids. So listen while the house all the trees bellow so softly.
The Atropa person is related to this band on. So Busy Toby says Koreatown, twee.se is what they say. Maria Rahel Vernhagen. Rahel Vernhagen was a German writer. Okay, so maybe that was a. I don't think that means anything. Let's see what they. PNG crop. So as of 2022. Okay, so in 2020, what were they working on? Tomo Chain tokens. What is Tomo chain? Okay, so this is Tomo chain. So this is a project that was in there, GitHub, that as of 2020. In 2018, they were working on dysnomia. Let's see what dysnomia is. What is going on here? Frame check. What is dysnomia? Where the thirsty don't happen is what they said. Dysnomia. What does dysnomia mean? Dysnomia is a language disorder. People with dysnomia have difficulties with remembering words, names, numbers, and other information from memory. For example, someone with dysnomia might be able to describe a word or the name of something in detail, but they may struggle to come up with the word or name itself. Dysnomia is the only known moon of the dwarf planet Eris and is the second largest known moon of a dwarf planet after Pluto 1 Charon. It was discovered in September 2005. Okay, so there's a project from 2018 called Dysnomia with seemingly unknowable things, but there is a weird character. So that is one similarity, I guess, is that we see the use of these weird characters. So that's kind of weird. What do you guys think that's all about? Okay. What's EFL? Conduct. Let's see what this is. It's actually pretty interesting. See, I have no idea what this is. I mean, I actually recognize a lot of this stuff related to charge, induction, refraction, and Maxwell's equations. I'm actually very familiar with that stuff. That's crazy. What is going on? What is this dysnomia that had an updated thing as of 2 months ago? VS 2022 is just like a new version. What? This is crazy. What is this? I have no idea what's going on. Huh. Okay, let's go back to the 2018. That's what they were doing. 2017, Dev opened their first issue on DevCoin Core. Let's see what they said here. So they're doing 2016, nothing. 2015, nothing. 2014. Okay, so looks like they started in 2017. (2019) PNG crop. Okay, so here's some history working with Uniswap. Okay. Let's go to this. So it looks like they updated this. I saw it. I did look at this earlier. That's funny. I don't know. I wonder what they mean by that. They have a gold key address, and I looked it up, and I have no idea what it is. But Atropa. So I have no idea what all these are for. I wonder what these other functions are. So I guess what my assessment on this so far is that Wait, so James G says, how do I see all my original stakes when I go to the website? Well, make sure you click on the ETH mainnet or the pulse chain one. Right, so if you go to perpetuals.maximus.cash, make sure you're in the right. Let's see, agree, connect. So you have to be on Ethereum mainnet or Pulse Chain mainnet. So Too Spooky suggests that it's something, but so at least in this Atropa, let's see. Get token data, let's get tokens. So I'm trying to figure out what this is exactly. Because it doesn't necessarily indicate that there's because I mean this just is a bunch of addresses, and this one is this one's right here, but these other functions, like these are part of it. So here's what we're gonna do, you guys. We're gonna sleuth around. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull this into Remix. So let's create a new workspace, just a basic. Okay. Okay, so let's just create a new contract. So functions.sol. Let's paste that in here. Okay. Very expressive in their comments, which reminds me of it just kind of reminds me of how it's very well developed. Let's see what's going on here. Not found addresses.sol. Okay, so here let's do that. We're literally just copying their code so we can unpack what's going on. So let's do a new addresses.sol. Let's go back to the GitHub, and then we're going to copy and paste addresses.sol. Copy. Okay. Compiled. So why don't we do this? We'll take it to localhost, which I think is a pulse chain fork. So here, have my local host running. Okay. Let's deploy this thing. See what happens. I don't think much is going to happen. Let's compile. So I think maybe like dot. So dot slash. Oh, okay. So let's deploy this, see what happens. My contract, deploy, okay. So we have all these functions. Okay, so that's suggesting it's failing. Damn it, it always does that, shoot. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We have to refresh this page. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Okay, so we're going to take the ABI from this. What we're going to do now is we're going to see if this ABI works with our. Yeah, let's go to this. Okay, so probably 2 months ago. Okay, we're going to find. I need to get better at naming my Anvil app, like these little one-off Anvil apps, because what I'm trying to find is the one that lets me interact with the Atropa stuff. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is actually my app that I was using to close the spread on that. Let's see, we get Atropa details. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna take our ABI that we just did here. Let's see if these function. I don't think they will be, because like we've already tested something along these lines of what is available in there. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna paste this in there and let's hit run. Okay, so let's try this. So we're gonna do contract token is my contract ERC20. Token. Okay, so we're going to say token con. We're going to do this. Okay, so I don't think that that's necessarily related, because other things that I know are in there or not. So let's go back to this tab. Let's just take a look at some of these different. I'm curious what this one is. So this is the deployer of something. What is this the deployer of? $1.49 million hex or pulse contract creation. Okay. So this person's made a couple contracts. Let's see what they've made. Wait, is this the one that is the deployer for the Master Chef? So let's look up. Okay, so here's my takeaway, actually. What they list as gold key is actually the deployer address for the, right? Yeah. The deployer address for the Master Chef contract. I don't know if they're the owner. Let's see who the. Okay, so that's interesting there. They list in their addresses, what they list as gold key is actually the deployer of, I mean, it's one of the Pulse Chain team, like core team devs. I think the other contracts, let's look it up on Etherscan. So So it looks like they received ETH from this address, and then they created. Yeah, so this is like the developer behind all these Pulse Chain tokens. Huh. Okay, so I guess that's interesting there. Let's see what these other ones are. Let's see what Skin Flute is. Somehow related to Pickle Token. Okay, let's see what other coins interact with. Looks like this guy's a Pickle Token fan. Let's see what Trebizond is. Yes, this is some other thing related to Pulse Chain. Looks like they bridged 18 billion Hedron over. Okay, so I guess nothing spectacular there. Yeah, so honestly, I really don't know what to make of this. Kogi says, well, I guess maybe time to come clean. The list of addresses are the top Atropa holders. Look at the commits, there are Pulse team references. Looks like this one was updated 22 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago, let's see. Oh, so they just added some stuff. Gold key Atropa dev confirmed. Well, what's listed as gold key is the deployer of all the Pulse, all the contracts related to this stuff. Let's actually see what tokens that this person holds. Well, they added liquidity. Let's see what they added liquidity to. Yeah, who knows? This is, I guess my takeaways are that there's nothing like definitively suggesting that this that this person is the deployer. Not to say that they're not. It's like there's nothing definitive either way. I'm not sure what the contract, like that, those functions that it has. It, I think, is just like I don't think that they're actually functions. What's another way we can check? Here's what we can do. We're gonna take one of those weird names of those contracts. So like, let's just see what this mu function is. So if this is in there, that'll be crazy. So Atropa contract dot. So I don't think this is. So we're going to say m equals anvil.js wait promise m. I'll switch to pulse chain first. Right, let's go back and check this. So these are read. I mean, they're not marked as read or view, but let's see. Okay, it says, okay, so it looks like that's a, so let's do self.signer. Okay, so you guys couldn't see. So I was trying to run some of these random like function names from here, but they're just failing. So let's try this one, a remit. And because I don't think this is the case, but what I'm trying to check for is if the I'm trying to check if the Atropa contract itself could be called using those functions in there. So yeah, okay, nothing. All right, guys, 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So let's see what any of these other contracts, if any of these others are. I mean, who knows what those functions are? And there's no code that shows what they might be. So unable to fully decide on that, but I think in general, the more this kind of goes on, I think it's just someone who is a creative, blockchain user who is launching these assets and then just using the like liquidity pool activity as marketing. They know that everyone looks at Dex Screener all day long, and so what better way to get your kind of name out there than with just setting up liquidity pools amongst tokens that you create. And then what that does, what I think is pretty savvy actually, is that it has this like liquidity multiplication effect. So say you have here, let's actually make this into a diagram. Let's do so let me log in here. Okay, so let's share this. Let's make a little diagram here of liquidity pool value multiplication. So say you have token to launch token launch token A, mint 1 coins. Put say 1,000. So we're just going to put 1,000A into a liquidity pool with let's just do this. We'll cut this down to make it a little math a little easier. Put 10A into liquidity pool with 1,000 DAI. So dollar backed DAI. And so if you have a liquidity, so let's just pull up the Uniswap V2 liquidity pool calculator and get this. Okay, so what that would mean is that at the current price of that would be $100 per, so 100 DAI. So token A price is $100. Token A market cap is 100 times a million, 100 million. So now you can launch token B and you mint 1 million coins. Put all 1 million token B into pool with 1 million minus those 10 tokens. So that is what, 999,990 token A. Lock the liquidity pool. So I guess you don't even need to lock it. Well, here, we'll add that in the previous step. Burn LP tokens. And then now your token B price equals, it's about 1-to-1 with token A, and now token B has price that is around 1A and market cap that is 100 million. The liquidity pool on token B versus token A has a liquidity value of 200 million. Since no one, if A and B deployer doesn't sell the coins, any new buyer is driving price up, but can't drive it below the initial price, because they don't have the coins to sell. So the end effect is that with only 1,000 DAI, you can have a perceived liquidity pool value of any value. I mean, really, like, to the liquidity pool value orders of magnitude greater, we'll call it paper, than what is realizable. So that's, I think this is kind of a, I think this may be the kind of marketing strategy here, like with all these like cross liquidity pools, is that the prices and the market caps and how the executor measures the liquidity all gets multiplied against itself over and over again. So pretty savvy marketing, I would say, for sure. And I think honestly that there seems to be a lot of appetite for that type of thing. And I think like a lot of people, I think the people that are most into some of this stuff are primarily, I mean, of course there's going to be a sample of everyone, but primarily people that got into Hex near the highs due to the pulse chain hype, and then sacrificed and waited around for years. So they're down big on their Hex. Sacrifice took years, and then they had that first initial pump, but then now it's down 60% from sacrifice rate. So, and PulseX, which was even larger participation, is down 90% from sac rate. So just people that over the past 3 years have had really poor performance in the Richard Hart token ecosystem. Now, if you think about it, the majority of users in the ecosystem have negative performance. There's really only a couple thousand early hex stakers that had enough liquid. There's people that realize the gain, and then there's people that are sitting on paper gains. But probably really only like a couple hundred people have outstanding, like large realized gains. A couple thousand people are sitting on unrealized paper gains, but the vast majority of users in the whole ecosystem are down. And so I think that those types of users are like they're willing to lever up the risk in seek of like in pursuit of larger reward. And so I think that's what we're seeing with that, which is I think a good show of how markets and these dynamics work, like the psychology of the market, where if you're down big on something that you perceived as not risky, you're willing to lever up the risk to try to make it all back in one trade, which a lot of people have. Like I've seen people in describing how with like Atropa and PDI that they've made back all their losses from having invested in Hex and Pulse Chain. So I think that like the increased appetite for, kind of it's like the opposite of Richard. It's like, I mean, even though not so public anymore, kind of early on, very, constant live streaming, very out there, kind of the face of everything. But then now there's something like anonymous creator, and just like wake up every day and like wondering what new thing is happening. I think a lot of those users that are just kind of disappointed in their performance in the last 2 years are starting to latch onto other related, other things unrelated in the same ecosystem. JP says, so where's the user interface to the loss claiming for previous years? Well, there's only been 1 year, but it's all on that same stake page. Day 746 of the Hex bear market. James asks, what does amount locked versus total locked mean? Amount locked is how much you locked. Total locked is how much everyone locked in that period. Do I need to do anything to my stakes, or can I just let them cook? So if for your team stake, you need to renew the stake. If for your base diamond hand time lock, you need to renew that. But if you're just holding base, you don't need to do anything. So day 746, let's see. So the current day is what? 1401. I think it'd be cool to have like this chart of like measuring the value of your stake, like for stakes that started before the fork. Some type of, I don't know, like a all-time stake performance. Because for the stakes that started here, like, I think that those have earned how many? Like, those probably have 4 or 5 times as much hex as they started with on their principal. Maybe like 2 or 3. I guess doesn't really make much of a difference, honestly. It's still, there's no way to cut it. All right, you guys. I'm gonna hop off right now. Get a little workout in. Thanks for joining me today. We'll be back tomorrow. But before we get off, let's go to perpetuals.maximus.cash. This is where you, for the next 5 days, you can mint base. Here, I'll go to perpetuals cash. For the next 5 days, 3 hours, 47 minutes, you can mint 0.89 base per hex pledged, or 1 base per 1.12 hex. The stake is 369 days. Probably earn between 10 and 12% again next year. So next year, each base will be backed by like 1.25. And so you have about 5 days and 3 hours remaining. Currently, where's the site? Currently, it's about halfway to the maximum bigger pays better bonus. But with like 1,000 holders of this, the gas fee savings are enormous. So, oh, you guys didn't even see my screen. 5 days, 3 hours, 46 minutes left. But until then, I'm gonna sign off. We'll check in pretty soon. And everyone go have a good day today. James G says, so I just go to basic, click restake. Yeah. To re-enter your diamond hand, to be clear. But if you just are holding base and are just in the hex stake, you don't have to do anything. All right, you guys, have fun. Thanks, Tips is James. Thanks for the help, of course. Talk to you all soon. Goodbye.